Alright everybody, this is Lee Phillips' Journey of Truth. We are back. Sorry about that, my other phone overheated. It got too hot, so I'm not going to get back out there in the sun. I'm going to stay over here in the shade, and hopefully I can conclude the rest of the day on this phone here without it overheating. And so that's one of the difficulties in recording when it's hot and doing non-stop recording. Those batteries, they just can't handle that. And there we go, we got the chimes at the church going on again. It never fails. It never fails. You can look at any of my videos in this area right here, and they always come on right when I'm talking about it. So I want to show y'all what I rescued out of the ditch over there. The name is Mays, M-A-Y-S, chocolate flavored drink, 8-ounce bottle. I'm gonna clean this up and do some research and see how old it is. Times like this on the job is when y'all stuck between a rock and a hard place, because y'all can't move forward until they can get that other pipe in over there and get it backfilled so y'all can finish your backfill. Are they going to be able to get the asphalt truck over here today, or?
Yeah, we had to send another one.
So it'll be filled by the time y'all done.
You got another load of rock in it too.
So I'm guessing by the amount of rings that they had to put on that sewer cover right there to raise it up, 3 levels of rings. That means that sewer cover was paved over 3 different separate times, and they never undug it to raise the cover up. Because each ring represents 2 inches. 2 inches is what a new layer of asphalt is when they put it down.
Tim's gonna go ahead and load. Mark's gonna fall. If he don't feel comfortable, Mark said he'll bring it.
Ever get into Fidelity?
It may be an hour.
Well, they're getting ready to come through.
Well, they've been doing all this patchwork all over the place around downtown area right here, and I think they still got several months of patchwork that they're doing before that they come through, and I think they're going to repave 20 Main Street and the road back up towards Snellville where it comes in from over at 20. I think it's that no, not Line Street, it's the next street down where the gas station is right down there. And so I think they're going to redo all those because that's kind of like the main areas where traffic flow is right now. But all these side streets are getting tore up because people are using the side streets more because the main roads are being congested so bad. During the daytime on a regular day, in the evening time from 2 o'clock till 6 o'clock, Main Street will be backed up all the way to the Rock Gym down there. It'll take you 4 to 5 stops before you can get to the red light and make it through. And the state won't get all the big trucks off of our Main Street right here, and that's what's, you see, you know what big trucks do to a roadbed, and you can see the dips and the ruts in the road where the big trucks are just smashing it down, all the vibration. Every time they come through, you can feel the whole town vibrates every time the trucks roll through. All these buildings' foundations are not on rebar footings like you have today. They were just bricks stacked on top of this playground. That's it. No underlying support for these buildings, and all the vibrating trucks are making all the foundations sink in the ground. It's the liquefaction effect. When you have vibration and just regular ground, and it will compact itself because of the vibrations, and the weight of the buildings is increasing that compaction on those footings, and we're having our buildings are settling to the point to where they're going to end up having to condemn them and tear them down. But I think that's what they want. I think they want these old buildings gone so that they can come in and put new stuff in like they're doing in Snellville and Lawrenceville. They want that new look. But people in Loganville don't want that new look. They want to keep our town historically looking. They want it. That's why people move here, have moved here for the past 50 years, is because They want the old town feel. Right here, where we're at, this was where our grocery store in town was. And people from all over, all the farmland all around, came here to the grocery store that was right here. All these buildings in town had your regular businesses in them before Walmart came. When Walmart came, all these businesses went extinct. Because why buy from an independent business when you can go to Walmart and get everything you need in one-stop shopping?
I hate when
China products are built to last a year, and then you have to go back and buy the same product again. Because they ain't worth a clip. All right, let's see if we can get a spot over here without getting back in the sun. Oh, and we got folks cutting through over here, and they look down the street and see the barricade, and they realize they can't go down the street that way. All right, them folks got moved out of the way. We'll turn back here and catch the action. And I'll be back in just a second. I got to go and check on something. And that far down, it's lasted a lot of years without getting broken up. Half the 6 bottles sticking out of the bank. Times are worth money. Yeah, there's somebody that drove this barricade. Car over there ain't supposed to be backed up in that alleyway right there either. They almost ran over the water meter. And that's not the owner of that building right there. I know the owner. He's on the city council, and that's not him. They're not supposed to be pulled in that alley. That's not a place to park vehicles.
I'm not surprised.
All right, we got another truck of gravel coming in right here. We're gonna slide on across the street over here. Maybe this phone won't cut off since it ain't been running that long. We got our second pipe going in right here. And they're gonna be getting this the rest of the way back filled on the Main Street side here. So folks, I can tell y'all right now, this is the only time y'all probably gonna see me do an all day long video. How you doing today?
Good. Come see what they did.
Oh, I'm about wore out, man.
You been here all day?
I've been here all day. My phones have overheated and died. I've used all 3 of my phones today, and it's just...
Well, did you see how big the sinkhole was?
I did not see that before that. I didn't even get over here before they already had that filled in. I did do the video. I did a video of the aftermath of them doing it and putting the steel. I caught them right when they were putting the steel plate over it. So.
I mean, today when they took that out, did you see how big the sinkhole was?
Oh no, I didn't get it because there was no way I could get close enough without being a safety hazard for them. So I never put myself in harm's way like that to be in the way because they have to have their mind focused on everything. Now they're used to me being here. I'm out of the way. The transit is a focal point that cannot be moved, so I'm safe right here. But I've been under the pavilion most of the day, and I'm not doing a whole lot of talking on my videos because you can't, not all day long. But it'll be a complete historical document of the whole day.
What they put under it?
The whole day. During the day, I would come over and get shots in the ditch when they would get further down, because a lot of it they had to do by hand to make sure that they didn't hit one of the other lines that's running up through there. I think they had 3 main lines that ran up through there.
Now what is that pipe right there? If they said that little orange pipe, that red pipe?
That's fiber optic pipe.
They've been the heck out of that.
And it's crimped, but
I'll say it's been the heck.
we don't know whether or not the line on the inside is crimped. So if ain't nobody complained about their fiber optics being out,
They will when they get home tonight. They gonna be done today, or they coming back tomorrow? Or are they staying tonight?
no, they got it. The state has an asphalt truck on the way. They would already had an asphalt truck here, but it broke down earlier, and they had to get another truck to go and pick the asphalt up.
My question is, how many people do it take to dig a hole?
Earlier this morning, I did a count. I counted 25, maybe plus 2. That was Loganville city workers, the state workers, everybody that was on scene. 25 plus 2.
But have they looked like that most of the day?
Yeah, because each one has his own independent job, and they can't step off into somebody else's domain. So they focus on what their job is, and when they're not required to be doing it, then they wait until they are. That's the way state work goes.
Government work.
Yeah, government work. That's it. Whether it be state, county, city, it doesn't matter. That's the way government work goes.
Looks like Skip's son right there, but I know it isn't.
It is.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I thought that
That's what one of the guys said earlier.
looked just like Skip's son. I said, you work for Judah? I did not know that. I thought you were a bartender. Well, you look like Brad. I was like, that was Skip's son. You do look a lot like him. I didn't know Skip
The day's almost over.
cat pick metal frames over there. The other two Main Street all the way up, just like that.
Fall back that way. Hey,
Let me ask you.
hey, fall back that way.
I saw where they poured their foot. Hang on, they're going that way.
Say that's pretty close to being 100 feet that way. But if that's 100 feet deep, then that is probably only 120 feet that way. It's close. But not being able to reduce the size of the slab doesn't mean that
believe I'm going to take a lounge chair down there. I'm going to set my camera up on the road, and I'm going to go down there at the bottom, and I might even take me a bag of white sand and put it around the lounge chair, and I'm going to kick back, and I'm going to let my video roll of me being given my hand and the bottom. I'm going to keep the lead that way when I do talk about it out there, but I'm being honest, and I'm going to have to do it before. Oh no, we're gonna have a wreck now.
Broke it, man. Broke it.
You put your hand on it and broke it. Oh. The battery on the controller's dead. Oh no. There we go. This is y'all's probing rod right here. All right, folks, we're gonna change location just a little bit right here. They're gonna move that packing machine and they're gonna get all this red dirt packed down right here. The car's driving through the barricade. Why they didn't have a state patrol out here to monitor the traffic and write people tickets, I have no idea.
They've been driving literally through my yard.
Yeah.
I'm flipping down all the time. But he's mad. He thought he could come around and do all the things.
Yeah.
No, but I've been watching. They've been cutting around the thing at Main Street. So anyway.
All right, we're gonna back up some more because they got this blower going. Matter of fact, let me get on the sidewalk area over here. Is that the asphalt truck? All right. Y'all getting close to going home then. Bad news is it's all shovel work. You ain't got no paper to lay it down. So they got the asphalt in this truck right here and they fixing to put some asphalt down in the hole.
Is that a new sewer cap or what's this square right here?
They had to put 3 rings. They had to dig it out. This is the main sewer line that runs down Main Street. It was covered up with 3 layers of asphalt. That means it hadn't been opened up in years.
Right.
So they came and cut it out, dug it out, took the cap off, and had to put 3 rings on there. Before they put the rings and all on there, they ran the camera up the street to find the footage of where all the tee-offs went to the other properties up the street. Then they pulled the line back, strung the line out down the sidewalk and put marks down the sidewalk so they would know in reference to the road where those locations were. Then they put
The city did that part.
the city did that part. Then they put the 3 rings on there and they had to modify that cap piece because it's such an old cap. They had to modify it by cutting the ears that face down off so that it would fit down on the new age rings because these rings are of a newer design that the cap wouldn't fit down on. So they had to take the cutter saw and actually cut the steel little
They're not asphalt back over it.
Yeah, they're gonna asphalt the hole and the bid will be even with the top of the road from now on. It'll be close. Here's the problem with what they're doing right now. They don't have a machine to lay that. That means it all has to be laid in by hand. And then they've got the roller that's down here, but that roller is three or 4 foot wide.
So they're just gonna be going.
They're only gonna be packing the very top of it unless they go this way. If they go this way, they're gonna have hard pack in the middle, soft pack up against the sides. That soft pack in the future is gonna get compressed down and leave a bump going in and a bump coming out. And it won't take long for that to happen with all the big trucks that roll through. At that time, they'll have to come back in and either re-level it back out or wait until they resurface the whole Main Street and do it at that time. Which, in the meantime, people will have to be aggravated with the bump in the road. I'm also going to bet that they don't replace the curbing that's over there. They're probably going to make the city replace the curbing that's over there. On that side over there where they cut the curbing out. Plus, they broke that side of it and smashed it down in the ground. And this side looks like it's broke too. Fix one problem, create another. And we have vehicles coming up Main Street here that should not be on Main Street. Folks, once again, do not drive through the barricades. When you see work going on, don't be like this guy over there and just sit in the road thinking you're going to be able to come through.
Does he think we're gonna be done in 5 minutes?
Seeing somebody has moved the barricades up there.
Sit there all night. They ain't gonna be done anytime soon. I mean, there's a barricade right there. You didn't see it. I'm tempted to go down there and tell him something.
Well, I hadn't been up that side of the walkway in quite a while today, so I think I might walk around that way and go and ask him where does he think he's going to go. And why is he on a highway that's blocked off?
Well, when you come back, I'll probably be gone. I gotta go get a refrigerator.
Does it work?
What I have, barely. Barely.
All right, folks, let's take a walk down here and let's see why this vehicle's staying parked in the road when it can't go nowhere. See y'all later. Ma'am, you're not gonna get through here no time soon. You're not supposed to be past the barricade. You're about to get in trouble. Folks, don't drive through the barricades. I'm gonna say it until I can't say it no more. Do not drive through barricades when you see barricades across the road and construction going on. Is there no common sense left in people's minds? Have their minds become so programmable that all they know is what they're programmed to do? It's crazy. It's like driving down a road that ends at a cliff and you see the signs that say stop, turn around, cliff ahead, and you keep on driving. Why would you drive yourself off the edge of a cliff? This type of behavior is not normal. It is not normal behavior for people to not acknowledge the things that are right in front of them. It's just ludicrous. People, use your brain. God gave you a brain to use. You have to use it and apply common sense. Don't be a robot. Sometimes you have to be able to make a decision for yourself, regardless of what you're told. Alright, we got another truck coming in right here. That's the truck that pulls the trailer back there. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep those barrels rolling. Somebody needs to crawl inside the drum and get the rock out. Now they probably put it in there on purpose. dip out, that is already going to be cooled, and whatever they put down on top of it is not going to adhere to that like it should be. And later on, it will flake up and start breaking up and popping up. We'll see how many complaints we get over the next couple of weeks about people having their front end not done right because the dip is so bad. And city officials will be like, well, we can't do anything about that. That was state DOT.
What'd you tell that man to go?
Oh, that was a lady. She was
Then he goes over there to the church, and then she comes back, and we're back down there.
She was looking on her phone, trying to figure out an alternative route. I have no idea.
Took her that long to
But
find
if-
an alternative route. She obviously
Well, if you're relying on Google, Google gets it messed up all the time. Because we have cars coming to Pecan Street that are supposed to be off to the subdivision somewhere else with some crazy name. But Google Maps tells them to come right there.
Amazon used to send them to my house, and they needed to be on the other side of town.
Yeah. That is still not high though. By the time they put the sidewalk in, it's still going to be lower than the sidewalk because the
Well, that's why
sidewalk.
they didn't attach it. They'll pick it up, raise it up. They didn't attach it. They just sat it up there.
But the two camps that they got, the two risers,
There's nothing on. I watched it a while ago. It's a solid piece.
there's two pieces that they sat on top of the main box. That right there is 3 concrete pieces stacked.
Oh,
You have a,
concrete. I thought you meant that
yeah,
metal
you have
thing,
a big concrete box, then you got a smaller one for spacer coming up, and even a smaller one
What I'm
coming
saying
up.
is they'll pick up that metal.
They've got another one over there on the front, but they didn't put it on. But when they put the sidewalk in, they're going to have to take that top cap block off that's underneath that metal piece to put another riser on because the cap piece doesn't have the groove around it that's supposed to lock it in place.
Like I said, he just slid that around. It's just
Yeah, it's not bolted down. But they're going to push all that asphalt on top of that other square block to where they can't remove it in the future unless they dig the asphalt back up. Because the sidewalk has to be at the level of the road just like this is right here. And they can't have that down lower than the sidewalk because that's a trip hazard. People in wheelchairs and scooters, that's a safety hazard. I'm surprised that the city hasn't had more lawsuits against it on things that are done wrong on these sidewalks on Main Street.
nobody that just shows you how many people.
Yeah.
And for them to sit there and say that they had to pay for the one over there by Brandon where he tore them up.
Yeah.
The city paid for that. Whoever uses 12 feet of sidewalk, 20 feet of sidewalk, who uses that?
And the crack that they said was in there previously busted up that was destroyed the whole entire sidewalk. We need one crack. And I have looked on my videos, but I can't find it. But I know I have a video where I specifically recorded that crack and talked about how that was done by the moving boat, but all the other cracks were done by the dumpster truck that unloaded the
See,
container.
Danny's
in the
changed
dumpster.
his story now. He originally said that it was like that, it's been like that, he didn't want to do it. Now he's changed his story.
city that I hold accountable is Danny White, because he is the one that has the last say on everything that goes on.
To a degree, yes. Because he just won't tell council.
That's
Some
right.
people sweep under the rug.
That's right.
He doesn't tell council. So yeah, ultimately,
He
yes.
keeps his mouth shut. That makes him.
Well, that's the whole thing behind why David Russell resigned. Because it just got ugly. Everybody was getting drug into the hole.
Well, just
Play
because
stupid
they
games, play stupid games.
resign don't mean they have full protection.
Well, no, if it's just because he resigned, I don't think he's gone. He's still on the operating board. He's still in charge of this.
Well,
He's still in the box.
these folks that are doing stuff crooked, I know they watch the videos, and they better take heed to the videos that I'm talking about if Loganville receives any kind of federal funds, they are open to a federal audit. With the new administration that we have in now, federal audits are coming down the pipe. They started at the top. They started at the top and they're working their way down through the principality. And you better believe that sooner or later they're going to get down to it all down, because federal dollars, they're tracking the federal
Like I
dollars.
said, Arthur was federal money.
Yeah.
It took us $4 million.
So if we're receiving,
You're looking at $1.5 million right there.
and that's got a 50-year moratorium on it, right? With the
50 year, not a moratorium, but it's got a 50-year contract.
because of the federal
It's
grant
just
that.
because, well, it's got a 50-year contract with the city every 50 years. It'll be the contract. That's the great agreement.
Yeah, well, any city council in the future
Can I do that?
cannot do that.
What did they run over in that metal box? That fiber optics?
Well, that's the telephone box that has been there for years, and all these accidents that have happened right here where cars have shut off, every one of them have hit that, and they've had to come back and fix it. So they're going to have to redo their whole lines. You can see the red fiber optic covering that comes up right there. That's the same one that they messed up right there. It's going to have to be done back out and redone. But that'll be on the fiber optic people, because that whole box setup, it's not going to be
It's been like that for a while.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going more again today.
well, it probably did get some debris pushed on it right there.
He's fixing it. He's gonna go over that bump right there with that stuff.
They're packing it on the top, but that don't do nothing for 6 or 8 feet down. Later on, that ground moisture is going to back down, and everything is going to come back down.
You'll go all night leaving that.
Yeah, he'll sleep good running that thing. But now they're going to add some more asphalt. Because it's a different temperature, it's not going to stick. They're not spraying down with the glue tar to make it stick. We're going to have asphalt flaking back up in the future, so you can clearly see the dirt in between the two layers. We've got all these fire hazards that are being created, like over at Bobby Boss, where the drain box is over there. Pop the tire, that'd be a lawsuit. Alright folks, I wanted to get the full project in today, but I have reached the extent of my ability to stay out here. So I'm gonna kill this video right here. And I'm gonna have to get to the house. The road should be open back up in the morning, but this video won't be posted until tomorrow. So they'll already be done by the time that this is posted. They've got a good handle on it right now, so we're gonna get out of here. Y'all remember, be safe out there. Be good to one another. Do something kind for someone, and y'all have a blessed day.